Tonight on Murrow News 8, WSU athletics win out the weekend.
And protesters take the streets around the world and in Seattle.
And a bigger and brighter moon. Get a special look at the supermoon in Pullman's night sky tonight only on Murrow News 8.
From Studio B on the campus of Washington State University, this is Pullman's only nightly newscast. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Polivoy.
And I'm Carly Tinsley. Thanks for tuning in.
Each year before Thanksgiving break, WSU hosts a community-wide poverty awareness week. Events kicked off today, and Murrow News 8's Alex Payton is the first event of the week. The CCE is hosting a poverty simulation to allow students to walk in the shoes of someone living in poverty.
I'm here at St. James Episcopal Church, where they are putting on a poverty simulation which delves into issues such as paying for rent and utilities, as well as trying to find childcare, all while working minimum wage jobs.
The goal of the Cost of Poverty experience is to help our community members understand what it's like to live in poverty. And so what is it like to live in the tyranny of the moment when all you can think about is how to keep your family safe, how to keep your family fed, and your mind's probably not on work because you're trying to figure out how to get everybody everywhere. So that's the whole goal, is just to bring an understanding.
President Schultz is inviting public comments regarding the suspension of defensive tackle Robert Barber. The university hired educational law attorney Mark Lyons to independently assess the student conduct board decision. The university says all public comments will be considered and those participating may remain anonymous, and the review is expected to last until mid-January.
Well, it was a quiet weekend here on Greek Row as WSU fraternity and sorority chapters adhered to the memorandum banning parties that was self-imposed by the IFC and Pan Atlantic Council early last week. Officer Shane Emerson of the Pullman Police Department, who's been the beat officer for College Hill over the past 8 years, said they responded to about half a dozen calls on Saturday night, when typically the WSU home football games produce about 20 911 calls. The self-imposed ban on Greek social events will be lifted next semester. Alaska Airlines, with the help of Washington State University, made history this morning by flying the first commercial flight using renewable alternative jet fuel made from forest residuals like limbs and branches that remain after harvesting of managed forests. The flight departed this morning from the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport and made a safe landing at the Reagan National Airport in Washington, D.C. The alternative jet fuel was led through WSU's Northwest Advanced Renewable Alliance.
Protesters took to the street after Donald Trump seized the election last Tuesday, and some protests are violent while others are peaceful. Murrow News 8's Courtney Jeffson took a look inside a peaceful protest in Seattle that focused on spreading love more than hate.
6 days after Donald Trump was elected president, protests have been taking almost every major city in the country by storm. Some protesters were peaceful.
We want him to hear us, we want him to hear our concerns, and to make America love again.
Others were showing opposite emotions.
You make me puke, and you're going to have projectile vomit on your glasses in a minute.
Okay, all right.
But in Seattle, a Trump supporter was all about love. His name is Avery Hefford.
I want people to know that I personally, I love all kinds of people, and I want everyone to feel safe. And if these people really do feel scared, that I want to make sure that they know that someone who is a Trump supporter completely wants to make sure that they feel safe.
Trump supporter or not, some parents believe the protests are an opportunity to show their children the freedoms America provides.
In 6th grade, and people are talking about it. I think it's really great that kids are understanding a little bit and trying to make sense of what's going on and trying to figure out what that Trump presidency will mean for our country.
For Murrow News 8, I'm Courtney Jeffson.
Tonight, 5,000 students from the University of Washington staged a class walkout in protest to the election results as well. Nobody knows exactly how long these protests and walkouts will continue. WSU continued their winning streak this weekend, Carly.
And up next, Nicole Clements has all the details regarding the game and a season ender for a player Coug fans have grown to love.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff. Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it. Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Good evening, I'm Nicole Clemens with your latest on sports. While the Cougars prepare for Colorado this week, they'll be doing so without senior wide receiver River Craycraft, who tore his ACL against the Bears, ending his career at Washington State. Fans took to social media to thank the slot receiver for helping turn around Cougar football. Craycraft caught 218 passes for more than 2,700 yards and 20 touchdowns in his 4-year career at Washington State. Every WSU sports team won this weekend in an exciting sweep. In addition to football, women's basketball, men's basketball, and volleyball all took home a win. Murrow News 8's Trevor Williams was in Bowler Gym to experience the women's volleyball team and all their glory when it came to their win this weekend.
There was plenty to scream about Sunday for the WSU volleyball team. Led by junior Casey Shainline, the Cougars finished off a weekend sweep. Number 25 Arizona couldn't handle the outside hitters' swings or blocks as the Cougars marched to their 19th win, the most for the program in its last 14 years.
It's a really exciting victory for us. Winning in 5 is always fun, and especially when we've had a little rut, and to get out and just know that we're still pushing, we're still fighting is huge.
The win didn't come without anxious moments. Twice the Wildcats came back to tie the match, but WSU got head coach Jen Graney her 200th career win in an outstanding 5th set.
A great win for us against a very, very good Arizona team. I was really happy how we battled and, just were able to pull out the victory. Very proud of this team.
Sophomore outside hitter McKenna Woodford and senior outside hitter Kyra Holt also gave the Cougars a lift, each notching double-doubles.
All 3 of them did a fantastic job, especially Casey Shainline. She was just big time this afternoon, and, I would really like the way that she was super aggressive, and it really showed in the numbers.
For the Cougars, the win on Sunday makes it their 2nd of the weekend. They also sweep both Arizona State and Arizona on the season, and are up to 9-7 in Pac-12 play with 4 matches to go in the regular season. Reporting from Murrow News 8, I am Trevor Williams.
That is all I have for sports for you tonight. Coming up after the break, Kaylin King tells us what to expect in the skies this week. Stick around.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Good evening, I'm Kaylin King giving you the latest on this week's forecast. Today's current temperature right now is 49 degrees. Today's high was 55, and that's pretty close to the average. You will be expecting some mild winds throughout the night, but then that's going to actually pick up quite a bit into tomorrow's forecast. Tomorrow we are going to start at 55 degrees. That temperature is going to gradually drop to 52. We are going to notice a lot of rain, some mild winds, and a lot more showers in the evening with a temperature of 41. Now let's take a look at our statewide conditions. Over on the east side, you kind of notice they're fairly the same temperatures, but with Olympia being a high of 56 and Wenatchee being the high of 59. And over on the west side, we notice the same pattern as well, and with Spokane being 55, Pullman 53. Now let's take a look at our statewide. Now let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. We notice that in the beginning of the week, we are going to experience some rain and some snow for the first time this year. So look out for that as you go over to the pass. But it looks like Friday through Sunday over the weekend, it's going to end up being pretty dry, and that's pretty good for the Apple Cup. So make sure to still bring a jacket though. That's all the weather I have for you today. Coming up, skywatchers have been appreciating the latest supermoon. Find out why after the break.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Well, skywatchers around the world are in awe of the supermoon. Now, unfortunately, we have a little cloud cover in Pullman, but this is a rare eclipse, which was a sight to see last night and early this morning as the moon appears far bigger and brighter than normal due to its close orbit to Earth's supermoon. Supermoons come around every once in about 13 months, but what makes this so special is the fact is that the moon will look bigger than any other point in the past 68 years. According to astronomers, the moon turned full around 9 o'clock this morning, but you can enjoy the view anytime the moon is out in the next day or two.
And if you get a chance to watch the supermoon again tonight, tweet us your pictures at Murrow News 8.
Well, that's all the news we have for you tonight. Join us every weeknight at 7 and 10 o'clock, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Have a good night.